Hello, today we're going to talk about atoms. We're going to introduce atoms. Um, for our essential questions today, we have what is the basic structure of atoms? How is an atom's mass calculated? Which subatomic particles are electrically charged? What are the three main subatomic particles located? Where are the three main subatomic particles located, and how do protons determine an atom's identity? Well, let's get ourselves a little more familiar with what an atom is to start with. And as you listen to the video, I want you to think about, if you were quizzed today, which one of these questions would you be able to answer? Which one of these questions would you need to work more on?
More specifically, what an atom description. What is up? It's Philo Ed back with another educational video. Like always, don't forget to chuck us a big thumbs up down below, subscribe for more videos, and check out the other videos listed in the description below. Today we're going to look at atoms, more specifically what an atom is, what makes up an atom, the structure of an atom, and how to calculate subatomic particles. Let's begin by looking at what an atom is. Atoms are the smallest particle of a chemical element that can exist, being about 0.0000001 centimeters wide. If we put that into some context, the number of atoms you need to stack up to make the thickness of a crisp or a chip is the same number you need to stack up to make the height of Mount Everest. Well, I know that's a lot of crisps, 7 million to be exact. So what makes up an atom? Well, atoms are made up of three even smaller particles, which are called neutrons, protons, and electrons. Now that we know what an atom is, what it's made up of, we can look at its form and structure. Those white lines surrounding the center of the atom is known as the electron shell. It is where the electrons spread out and form the nucleus. The nucleus is the dense core in the center of the atom. Within this dense core, you can find both protons and neutrons. So now that we know what an atom is and how it's structured, we can begin to look at calculating subatomic particles. So each particle has two properties, a mass, so how heavy it is, and a charge. This can either be positive, negative, or neutral. If we look at the proton in the table, you can see that it has 1 for mass and a positive charge. Whereas we look at the neutron, it has the same mass but a different charge, as neutrons are neutral. Lastly, electrons, these have almost a zero mass and a negative charge. An easy way I might find to remember the charges is pro for proton is positive, pro for positive, nu for neutral, neutron as nu, and electron is the only one left, so it is negative. So if we look at an element on the periodic table, for example, carbon, we see that it has two sets of numbers and a letter. The C is carbon's element symbol, and this is how it is represented in chemical formulas. For example, CO2, so what we breathe out, the C stands for carbon, and the O stands for oxygen. The 6 is carbon's atomic number, so this is how many protons the atom has. In an atom, you have the same amount of protons and electrons, so this 6 also represents the number of electrons in the atom. The 12 is carbon's atomic weight. So remember how we talked about the weight of protons and neutrons? The number is those two added together. You might be wondering what happened to the electron. But if we remember, the electrons have almost zero weight, so they're not included in the calculation. Okay, well, if we look at some of the equations here, which help us work out both atomic weight and atomic number of an element, the number of neutrons? Well, we can subtract the atomic number from the mass number. So carbon has a mass number of 12, we take 6, and that means we get 6. This means that carbon has 6 neutrons. And like we said before, the atomic number is the number of protons in an atom. An overview to ensure you're all listening. An atom is the smallest particle of a chemical element. It is made up of 3 smaller particles, neutrons, protons, and electrons. These form the atom's structure. In the structure, the electrons orbit around the center of the atom, known as the nucleus, which contains the neutrons and protons. Each particle has 2 properties, a mass and a charge. Protons have 1 for their mass and a positive charge. Neutrons have 1 for their mass and a 0 charge, so they're neutral. Electrons have almost 0 mass and a negative charge. When we're looking at the chemical symbol for an element, the letter is the element symbol, and it's how it's represented in a chemical equation. The top number is the element's atomic weight, and the bottom number is the element's atomic number. 3 equations that we use to help us calculate subatomic particles. Mass number equals number of protons plus number of neutrons. Number of neutrons equals mass number take atomic number. The atomic number is the number of protons. Remember, an atom always has the same amount of protons and electrons in the atom. That is all. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so after watching this, we're going to get into our PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so here we're going to decide which ones we can answer and which ones we may need to learn more about. What is an atom? The basic building blocks of ordinary matter. The basic unit of chemical elements. It consists of 3 parts, protons, neutrons, and electrons. It's also called the subatomic particles. What makes up an element? Type your answer here. Make sure you erase that part. The structure of an atom consists of a nucleus in the center containing protons and neutrons. The electron cloud surrounds the nucleus and contains the electrons. The rings are referred to as orbitals or shells. There are 2 main parts of the atom are the blank in the middle and the blank that surrounds it. Write your answer down based off of this information here. Protons are positively charged subatomic particle. It's located inside the nucleus. It's included in the atom's mass. 1 proton equals 1 atomic mass unit, AMU for short. Atomic mass number equals the number of protons. It determines the element's identity. Question over here says, what does the number of protons tell us about the element? Look here, write your answer down. Neutrons have no electrical charge. They're located inside the nucleus, and they're included in the atom's mass. 1 neutron equals 1 AMU. The neutron may not always be the same as the same number of protons. Place an X on the yellow box if the statement is true about neutrons. So you're going to put an X on the ones that are true about neutrons based on this slide that we just went over. Electrons are negatively charged subatomic particles located outside the nucleus. It does not contribute to the atom's mass. 1 electron equals 1 2,000th atomic mass unit, AMU. In a neutral atom, the number of protons and electrons are equal. So right here, we're going to do a fill-in type of thing here. And it says electrons exist blank, the nucleus, where around the nucleus and do not contribute to the blank. An electron has blank electrical charge. So based on this information presented, you'll put your answer here. Now that we've talked about it for a little bit, we're going to do a quick action slide. And the following properties describe three different subatomic particles. Click on the properties and drag them to their correct positions. So you're going to look at the previous 3 slides, and you're going to look at the facts that are for these, and you're going to move these over to the right spot. Scientists have used many different models to represent atoms throughout the years. Each model has changed slightly to represent some new understanding or information about atoms. Using your knowledge of atoms, what could you use at home to model an atom, or more than one atom? What home resources do you think you could have to make a model without going to the store and getting it? Periodic table. This table shows all different atoms there are on Earth. It's called the periodic table of elements. Remember, an atom is the basic unit of a chemical element. Atoms. What can we tell about this atom element from the PT? The element's atom's name is nitrogen. The symbol for nitrogen is M. The number of protons are 7, which is also referred to as the atomic number. The mass number is 14. Protons plus neutrons equals your mass number. How can we determine the number of neutrons in nitrogen? So a hint is your mass number minus your atomic number equals neutrons. Okay, so our mass number would be this. Our atomic number would be this. So this minus this equals our neutrons. Right here, we're going to take and we're going to put it in to practice. We have 8 man. This is the way you can remember how to calculate the subatomic particles. You're going to drag the pieces to the place where they make the most sense to complete the chart. So you're going to get, for protons, you're going to write down what you have to do. And then for electrons, you're going to have to do this. So you would put a proton box here, an electron box here, and then how do you find out what it is? Each of the atomic models shown represents an element. Use the information on the periodic table and provided to identify each element. So I need you to tell me, what is each one of these elements here called? One last look. Using what you know about subatomic particles and the periodic table on slide 10, complete the chart by solving the missing information. Type your answers in the outline text box below. So you're going to look for this on slide 10. You're going to look up your element, and then you're going to tell me how many protons it has, how many neutrons this one has. What is this element here, and what is the mass of this particular element? Describe the structure of atoms, including the masses, electrical charges, and locations of protons, neutrons, and electrons. How can you identify an element by its number of protons? You will write your answers here in these spots here. Now that we've gone through the lesson, which essential question would you still need help with? And just so that we can know what our essential questions are, we will review them once more. What is the basic structure of atoms? How is the atom's mass calculated? Which subatomic particles are electrically charged? Where are the three main subatomic particles located? How do protons determine an atom's identity? So, if you still need help on any of those, I want you to tell me on this slide which ones it is. If you understand it all by now, then I want you to tell me why you think you understand it and what you think you could learn to improve it, your knowledge.